Thanks to everyone for this opportunity to speak on one of our greatest freedom fighters, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. So he is very well known, but unfortunately, due to various XYZ reasons, he could not get the recognition what he was supposed to get. Okay, so I would like to visit his life and his activities to refresh our memories about him and the contribution what he has done towards our country and the freedom what our country has gained from British. So Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he was Bengali. He took birth in Cuttack, Odisha, that was under Bengal province during like British Empire, and his father was a lawyer, and he took birth in a good family. And his education was pretty good, and he was very good into the studies, and almost since younger age only he was towards the nationalistic feelings. So once some professor some British professor spoke something bad about India, so at that time he assaulted him. So from this incident onwards, like his name became popular that he is going to for the cause of the country. So after that, his father sent him for a civil services exam to Britain. So he studied in Cambridge, and there he gave Indian ICS, Indian Civil Services exam. It was it's like modern IAS exam, which British used to conduct. So he secured fourth rank into the ICS. But that he did under his father's pressure. But after that, he told that he wants to serve the nation and he doesn't want to continue as British servant. After that, he joined the Congress Party, and in Congress Party he started doing a lot of activities, and in Congress Party his name also started growing. Soon he became the secretary, soon he became the president of the Bengal branch, and eventually he became the president of Congress also. That time things were very fine along with him and Mahatma Gandhi. But the path of Gandhi and Subhash was not going to be the same down the line. Gandhiji wanted to have the independence through non-violence, but Subhash Chandra Bose was firmly convinced that India is not going to get the freedom from British only through the non-violence. So some kind of like agitation and aggressive stance was required. Even when there was a Congress function in Bengal, so that time Subhash Chandra Bose made a front Congress corps. So they were volunteers, little bit aggressive ones, and they paraded in front of Gandhi and all, in front of Motilal Nehru, who was the president at that time. That itself Mahatma Gandhi didn't like. So from here only the seed of difference between Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose started. Later Subhash Chandra Bose became the president also. He became second time president also. But then eventually he realized that he cannot continue in Congress for what he wanted to achieve. So he left the Congress and he made his own forward bloc. Then, by the time Second World War was going to start, that was like around 1938-39. So Second World War already was going to start or started. So at that time, like British declared India also as a party of war, without taking any permission from any of the Indian leader or anyone. And so British Emperor already declared India as a party of the war against this Germany and Italy and those forces. So that time everybody opposed that, and Congress also opposed, and Subhash Chandra Bose also opposed, and he did lot of protest in Bengal. So then the British kept him in the prison. He realized that this is the opportunity what he has to encash if he wants the independence from the British. So he started doing fast. Out of the fear that he may die with the fast, British allowed him to go back to his home, but kept him in the house control. There also, he very cleverly he escaped, and from there he went to Pakistan. Peshawar he went through the help of his friends, and then from Peshawar he went to Afghanistan, and his intention was to go to Russia, so that he can take help of Stalin, and he can thwart the British away from the India. That was his original plan. So, but when he reached to Afghanistan and he tried to speak to the ambassadors of Russia then he realized that Stalin has some different plan actually. Russia didn't want to meddle into Indian affairs because like Russia wanted to focus more on the West against Hitler and Germany. So then he contacted to Italians. So Italians tried to help him, and then they gave him a new identity, and then they allowed him to let him go to Moscow. Moscow also, Subhash Chandra Bose again tried to meet to the Russian leadership, but the response was same, that Russia has no interest to help India against British. So then Subhash Chandra Bose has no other option. He went to Germany. Okay, and then in Germany he met few Nazi leadership. So Germany allowed actually. Germany helped Netaji to make one free India center over there. Germany wanted to use that for their own propaganda, so they helped also. And one of the German general Rommel, he captured a lot of Indian soldiers in the South Africa when his fight with British happened there. So they were like prisoner of war in Germany. So Netaji convinced Nazi leadership that okay, let these Indian prisoner of war become our Indian soldiers. They will help to eventually gain the independence. So that is where in Germany India ji made the foundation for Azad Hind Fauj. Okay, and he made Independent India Center also, and he got a radio also. He started giving broadcasts to the citizens of India. The original plan was that along with the help of Germany, he will march towards Afghanistan and come to India. But then soon the equations got changed, and Germany and Russia entered into the war. So Netaji realized that now Germany is not going to help, and Russia, they are into the war. So staying in the West is not going to help for India's independence. So that time he decided to come to East, where Japan was there, and whole Southeast Asia, Japan was quite aggressive and fighting with the British over there. And eventually he met Hitler also. He explained his plans also. So Hitler also advised him that we have absolutely no intention to think all the way till India. So you can better go towards Japan and take the help of them. So he arranged one submarine, the U-boat. And from the U-boat, Netaji along with one of his colleagues, he came from Germany to till Madagascar, down the line to Africa, and then from there he got exchanged to one Japanese submarine, and then he came towards Singapore. In Singapore, there was already intense activity for Indian independence was going on. There was one Ras Bihari Bose. He was nearly 15-20 years elder to Subhash Chandra Bose. He was very active. He already participated in lot of activities in India, and he was already escaping from the British. He was into Japan. He made a good alliance in Japan to realize that Japan should help India to get liberation from the British. And Japan also had the intention. They had a little cultural intention also, because it was the land of Buddha. So they were also more than willing to help. So Ras Bihari Bose already made one Indian independent league over there, and whatever the forces Japanese captured, whatever the Indian forces which were working under the British in this Southeast Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, Burma, those kind of areas. So when Japanese acquired that area, so all these soldiers became the prisoner of war of Japan. So then Japan also wanted to help India in that way. So that time itself, those prisoners of war were given to Indian Independence League, and under the General Mohan Singh, I guess there was a question also 2 days back on that. General Mohan Singh, the first Indian National Army was organized, but soon the differences start coming, so that was disbanded around 1 year down the line. So now when Subhash Chandra Bose reached over there, so they got a new energy, and this Indian Independence League as well as the disbanding INA, they got reformed under Azad Hind Fauj, Indian National Army. So here onwards, Subhash Chandra Bose, he went to Japan then, and he met the Japanese leadership and asked them to declare give the recognition for the independent India government in exile. So Japan did that, and Japan promised to help India a lot for this fight with the British. So then Subhash Chandra Bose returned, and then he took his army along with the help of the Japanese. He started marching towards the Burma, and eventually his soldiers, they succeeded. They came till Kohima and Imphal. Okay, they reached to Andaman Nicobar also, and they made independent. Andaman Nicobar was under British only. They made it independent, and they hoisted Indian government flag over there. Then they crossed Burma. They came to this Kohima and Imphal. So like before the later what India got independence, before only the Indian flag was hoisted in Imphal by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. But here onwards the things got changed actually, because America entered into the Second World War and Japan was under tremendous pressure. So Japan said that I cannot continue helping you. They started retreating, and then because of the no support, eventually like Indian National Army also has to start retreating. And they so whatever they acquired, they have to let it go, and then they retreated till Bangkok. They reached towards there, and eventually when Japan surrendered, so then there was no other option for Subhash Chandra Bose also to, continue the fight. So temporarily he also disbanded his army and let all the soldiers go so that they could not get captured by these allied forces. And then he decided to escape to Russia so that he can be away from these British forces. Here things took a very strange turn, as what is being told to us is that he eventually took flight from Singapore. He went to Vietnam. From Vietnam he went to this Taiwan. In Taiwan the plane got crashed, and that date was 18th August, just 3-4 years down the line. 18th August 1943 or 44, something like that. So that is the theory is being told, but lot of public then also didn't believe that Netaji has died, and there was this itself is became a very complicated topic in Indian politics. That when India down the line got the independence, so there was lot of inquiries about what happened really to Subhash Chandra Bose. So Indian government made 3 commissions. First they made a Shahnawaz commission, that was in Nehru's time. So that commission also gave the same report that yes, Subhash Chandra Bose died in the plane crash. Then another came, I guess, Khosla commission, that's nearly Indira Gandhi's time. Again same finding. But then very recently in 1990s, Justice Mukherjee commission came, which actually went to Taiwan. So they really did some finding. They went to Taiwan and they figured it out that actually there was no plane accident at that time. So this is a pretty controversial thing which we still don't know what is the fact, because those files are not being declassified as of now. But in the recent things, what is the popular finding is that most likely that Subhash Chandra Bose has not died in that plane accident, and he actually succeeded to flee to Russia, and probably due to various political reasons, both international and national, he was being kind of captured over there and not allowed to return to India. So that maybe down the line in our life we'll come to know what exactly has happened. Okay, so I would like to speak on that. What was the effect of Indian National Army's reaching to India in the Indian independence? So when INA lost the battle, so lot of soldiers being captured and they were repatriated to India, and British decided to run the court martial on them. So the first session of top 3 guys what they selected, Sehgal, Khan and Dhillon. They were the top 3 army guys of Subhash Chandra Bose. So they conducted a trial in Red Fort. So that thing has given lot of motivation to the whole India actually. That was the time that even while the Congress and Muslim League were fighting for separate India and Pakistan, they also came together because the whole India felt that these soldiers were really fighting for us, really fighting for their motherland, and the whole country has to stand by them. And the side effect of this thing happened that even in the Bombay, And so Bombay Mutiny has happened. The Navy has because British were very less in India. They were ruling only through our Indians, and Indians were very loyal to them. So British were very confident that whatever will happen, okay, these guys will remain loyal to us and we can continue ruling them. But after this Red Fort trial, especially the soldiers in British armies, they realized that how British are misusing us. So they revolted actually. With this revolt, actually the foundation of the British Empire has shaken. Even so, British hastily decided to leave India. This part was later confirmed by the British Prime Minister Attlee, after Winston Churchill, it was Attlee who actually signed the Independent India Act. So Attlee down the line, in 50, he came to Calcutta. So Calcutta Governor, Chief Justice, he had a discussion, and then Chief Justice asked, what exactly motivated you to leave India? Was it Mahatma Gandhi or something else? So he said that no, Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru was still very well to handle with us. But it's Azad Hind Fauj and Subhash Chandra Bose and their side effect which has shaken our foundation in our army, which has actually caused us to decide that no longer India is safe for us. So that's all I want to say. That's all I want to brief about it.